Welcome back to Dramas and Pajamas. In part 1 of Taxi Driver 3, Rainbow Transport took down a human trafficking ring and a crooked car broker, showing once again that Doji and his team never backs down when victims are trapped. Now part 2 begins with a more personal case. Commander John receives a phone call from his old friend, who says he's waiting outside the prison, the place where they once promised to meet and settle unfinished business. John rushes there, but Donju is nowhere to be found. Tracing the call, Go-yeon discovers that it came from a public phone near a nursing home. John heads over and finally finds Donju, but his friend doesn't recognize him at all. The staff explains after a car accident, Donju developed severe Alzheimer's and has lived there for 5 years. John pays off his overdue bills and receives a psych eval filled with Donju's answers. Every line was about his missing son, the pride that he once felt, and the despair of losing him. That night, John drinks heavily, weighed down by memories. His teammates notice and ask what's wrong. John begins to tell the story from 15 years ago. Donju's son was murdered, but the perpetrator received only a 5-month sentence. Crushed by the verdict, Donju wrote a suicide note and stood on a bridge, ready to end it all. John stopped him, insisting that his death would not bring justice, and urged him to fight instead. From then on, the two met weekly, digging through scraps of evidence, chasing reluctant witnesses, and battling stonewalling lawyers. John even forced a law firm to hand over original case files, uncovering a video of Donju's son being beaten by a classmate named Lim, who was clearly speaking to someone hidden in the shadows. Donju confronted Lim in prison, but since there is no body and no confession, he was only charged with assault. Despite the lack of proof, Donju swore his son was dead. A father's intuition, a bond too deep to doubt. Half joking, John suggested that they wait outside the prison when Lim gets released, grab him, and force the truth out. Donju agreed, even promising that whoever arrived late would buy dinner. But when the day came, John waited alone. Donju never showed. At his clock shop, John found only emptiness. His friend had vanished. Now 15 years later, Commander John is weighed down by guilt. He believes that if he had done more back then, Donju wouldn't be the broken man that he is today. Doji and the Rainbow team rally around him, urging him not to drown in regret, but to finish the mission they once started. This time, they'll fight for justice on Donju's behalf, before his fading memory disappears completely. Digging into the archives, they uncover the old case files. Late at night, John visits Donju at the nursing home and finds him wandering into traffic, nearly hit by a car. Staff explain his condition is worsening. He's lucid for less than half an hour each week. Time is running out. Reviewing the video evidence, Doji spots a critical flaw. After Lim attacked Donju's son, Ah-ho, the boy supposedly walked out of the gym alive. This footage cleared Lim in court. But Doji notices the details. The boy in the video uses the opposite dominant hand. Someone else was wearing Ah-ho's clothes, a deliberate trick to confuse investigators. Rainbow Transport moves fast. Go-yeon tracks Lim's current address, now the flashy CEO of 10 gyms. Doji waits outside in his taxi, picks Lim up, and drops him off to a funeral hall. But inside, it's no funeral. It's a secret casino, guarded like a fortress. Using Curly and Mushroom Head's new antenna gadget, Doji spies inside and confirms the truth. Go-yeon digs deeper. Right after Lim's release 15 years ago, he suddenly owned a luxury apartment. The team suspects it was a payoff for hiding the truth about Ah-ho's death. Doji decides to break Lim's nerves with psychological warfare. Soon, Lim finds notes and calls signed with Ah-ho's name, each one rattling him further. Panicked, he checks his gym's cameras and saw a hooded figure lurking. Terrified, he drives to a university to confront a volleyball coach, demanding to know if Ah-ho was really buried. The coach, calm and condescending, scolds Lim instead. Watching from the shadows, Doji suspects this coach is the same mysterious figure who spoke to Lim in the video 15 years ago. That night, Donju briefly regains his clarity. He recognizes Jun and listens as his old friend promises, "I couldn't help you back then, but now I'll give everything to uncover the truth about your son. You have my word." Doji follows Lim and discovers him meeting with the volleyball coach named Cho. Go-eun digs into Cho's background and finds plenty of red flags. Once a mediocre pro player, now somehow a college coach. Doji is convinced that Cho is the shadowy figure who spoke to Lim 15 years ago and suspects a dirty deal between them. To break Lim, Doji infiltrates the funeral hall casino where Lim often gambles. With Curly's card shuffling skills, they win big and they bait Lim into wagering his gym. Lim loses and Doji walks away with the key and a signed contract. Inside the gym's director's office, they find nothing at first, until hidden cameras reveal that Lim opened a secret glass door. Behind it, rows of servers running a sports gambling site tied to Cho's volleyball matches. The truth is ugly. Cho manipulates games by ordering one of his players, Jun, to deliberately miss points. Lim and Cho rakes in billions by betting on unlikely outcomes. Rainbow Transport sets a trap. They trick the player Jun into believing that he's a 5-star prospect being scouted by a European agent, with Doji posing as the agent. Jun, desperate to impress, defies his coach's orders and plays to win. The team's scheme works. Cho and Lim loses everything in the final match. But Cho panics when Jun suddenly demands that he apologize to Ah-ho, Doju's son, who's supposedly been long dead. In the stands, Doju appears, dressed as Ah-ho, shaking Cho to his core. Lim blurts out Ah-ho's name too, leaving Cho terrified and confused. Haunted by photos and fake police reports, Cho digs up Ah-ho's grave to check for himself. Doji watches, realizing that Cho is taking orders from someone else, a hidden mastermind, because he called someone before he dug up the grave. The body confirms that Ah-ho did die. But before his body can be secured by police, the corpse is stolen. Soon after the body is unearthed, Lim dies in a fire, and Cho is found dead as well. Go-eun concludes that they were silenced by the mastermind. Doji races to the nursing home just in time to save Donju from being abducted. The leader reveals himself, Kwon-jin, the grandson of the university's foundation's chairman and the true owner of the gambling site. Years ago, Kwon-jin used Cho and Lim to fix matches. Ah-ho discovered the scheme and refused to join, even after Kwon-jin tried to bribe him. That choice cost him his life. Encouraged by his father's words, "Follow your heart, do the right thing, I will always support you," Ah-ho stayed true to himself and paid the ultimate price. That night, Ah-ho confronted Lim, urging him to confess and make things right, but Kwon-jin and Cho discovered his intentions. Kwon-jin branded him a traitor, beat him savagely, and forced Lim to strike his own friend. Injured, Ah-ho staggers away, only to be run down by Kwon-jin's car. To cover it up, Cho wore Ah-ho's clothes to fool the cameras, and together they buried his body in Kwon-jin's grandmother's grave. In court, Lim was pushed forward as the scapegoat, but sentenced to only 5 months because the body was never found. Kwon-jin smirked as Donji watched his sons be dismissed. Later, Cho took hush money and even staged a car accident to silence Donju. This was the full truth: Ah-ho's murder, the cover-up, and the trio behind it. Now, Doji faces Kwon-jin directly. At an abandoned school, Kwon-jin sets up a twisted game, forcing Doji to fight waves of thugs while streaming it live on the dark web for betting. Doji smashes through every opponent, while Go-eun hacks the servers to shut down the broadcast. Furious, Kwon-jin enters the fight himself. He's skilled, but Dojin outsmarts him, binding his legs with live wires and smashing him until he breaks. Kwon-jin begs for mercy, offering to reveal Ah-ho's body, but Doji already knows. Curly and Mushroom Head have found it, moments away from being burned. Kwon-jin tries to buy his way out, but Doji kicks him into a pit prepared just for his grave, leaving him with a sand timer counting down the same fleeting 3 minutes of memory that Donju has every day. evil finally meets its end. Dongju dreams of reuniting with his son in the sunset, hearing him say, "Live well, Dad." Waking with tears, he calls Jun. That evening, Doji drives Dongju in his taxi, carrying Aho's ashes and photo. As the sun sets, Dongju smiles, saying goodbye to his beloved son. Doji steers his 5283 taxi into the horizon, Rainbow Transport ready for whatever new world awaits. And that closes part 2. A father's grief finally answered, a villain destroyed, and Rainbow Transport proving once again that justice rides with them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Dramas and Pajamas for the next mission. See you next time.